As my dad Stu used to say, every time you put a coin in the system it's a shoot. Which is sort of an old school shooter's way of saying once your coin is in the system, there's no refunds. So make it count. A lot of the boys, when they'd visit the arcade, they didn't really take it serious. I mean, they'd visit, get their quarters and sort of kill some time in there. They figure that they had put their money in, so whenever the game was over, they were good to go home sort of thing. Which is something I never could agree with. I always took a lot of pride when I went to the arcade, you know. Whether it was Pac Man, QBert, or Battletoads. I went in there, and put in a real, believable effort. Even before I stepped foot in the mall, I had really envisioned how the game was going to go in my head sort of thing. So when I got in there, and put my quarter in, I was ready to tell a real story in there. A lot of the boys liked playing games alongside me. They knew that their money was gonna go somewhere. They were gonna have a real opportunity to showcase their best in front of a crowd, you know. Most of all, they knew that I was safe, and that they were gonna go home with a full, healthy wallet. I remember on more than a few occasions we'd visit as sort of a break from the grind on the road. Owen, Davey, Jim and I used to make a real point to dedicate some time to doing so. I mean, Owen you could always sort of trust in there. He was never going to be reckless or anything. He might use the odd power-up for show, but otherwise he was a pretty solid gamer. Davey and Jim were a little less reliable in that sense. Davey used to always try to get the boys to play foosball. He figured being from Britain he kinda had a real edge, I guess. Of course everyone knew you could blow Davey up pretty easily if you scored a few goals early and just played defense, you know. He never caught on to the strategy. He used to just be breathing heavy, and pound his head on the table after. This is bizarre, and then sort of wander off. Jim was always trying to play arm champs. He'd often rattle the machine beforehand shouting, "Get ready for a big ol' cast daddy, ha 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 ha." Of course he'd treat it as a shoot and end up breaking the machine, which would usually end up in us getting kicked out.